my Lab 9 project. I use a ultrasonic sensor mounted on top of a servo to work like a radar and take in distances at different angles. The servo motor and ultrasonic sensor are both controlled by digital pins 2, 3, and 4 and are wired in this way. This is a video of the radar and processing output together. The servo sweeps from 0 to 180 degrees, and while this is happening, the ultrasonic reads distance values. After completing one sweep, the servo resets to 0 degrees and the process restarts. I have artificially capped the range of the ultrasonic sensor at 7.5 inches. As the servo and ultrasonic sweep, then read the angle, the distance data and angle data is transferred to processing for reading and output. The processing code outputs a circular grid representing distances and angles in relation to the ultrasonic sensor. For each angle that is read, the processing code outputs a red dot at that angle and distance that is read by the ultrasonic sensor. The processing code also connects consecutive red dots by a faint red line. In the video, the distances being read in the center angles from about 60 to 120 degrees is the dual wattage converter I have placed in front of the ultrasonic sensor. I'm using this item as a reference to show that the radar system works. The objects being read from about 150 to 180 degrees is the far wall, which is within range of the ultrasonic, within that 7.5 inch range. In the top left of the processing window, I have also included a legend of the current angle and distance. This is the processing output, blown up to a larger size so you can see it more clearly. The angle and distance is plotted from 0 to 180 degrees as mentioned before. Also, the distance and angle values are represented on the output. I have also slowed the output down slightly to make following the legend in the top left corner slightly easier. This is the Arduino code used for my Lab 9 project. In this I'll only really go over the most important part, which is this sweep read function right here. It is what runs the most of the sweep and reading of the ultrasonic and the servo. So it runs a for loop mainly from 0 to 180 degrees, where it writes the servo position, and then it uses the trigger high, trigger low, and then read for the ultrasonics, and then reads in the pulse on the echo to find the duration, which is then translated into centimeter and then inches. And then inches is set to either 1 or max based on if it's outside the range or not, which is then read to the serial. This is my processing code, where I read in the string provided by the Arduino serial, which is then converted into two floats, a distance and an angle, which are then converted into location X and location Y, where the ellipse is printed.